we should be live streaming. Let me check if it's live or not. All right. So we are live. Let me push a tweet. All right. Here we go. So I want to share this URL. All right, let's go. And there we go. All right. So we're good to go. I'm gonna create a new repository. It's gonna be resume.js. Dynamic resume built from a JSON file. Public. We don't want any of those. There we go. Let me push here. So I'm going to git clone that into current folder. Yes, it is empty. Let me just check if git, perfect. All right. So we are ready to build things. First of all, we are going to use, so hello everyone. We are going to be building my resume. So investor money didn't go through as planned. So there I am looking for a job. So I'm going to use Gatsby to build my resume. And I'm going to push it to the now.sh or Zeit.co serverless infrastructure. So I'm going to use the boilerplate from now. I'm gonna do it here, and I'm pretty sure you need to force because Git is already installed in it. All right, so let's go back to the whole code thing. We would want to change the README and be like resume.js. Let's go for whatever placeholder at the moment. So building a resume from JSON file using Gatsby and deploying to now.sh.co. All right. So we'll look at the different goals that we want to achieve. First of all, pull data from a JSON file, and this is going to be into source data resume.json. Then we will want to support multi language, I guess, multi-language resume. So as you can hear, I'm obviously French, and I still want to publish my resume in English. We want to support multi-pages resume. So you can have like one page for your experience, one page for your portfolio, and so on. And make sure those are dynamic. So we're not going to build one page for experience or whatever. We're just pulling all of the data from the JSON file and we'll make sure that we can create pages from the JSON file itself. So we'll be looking at dynamic page creation in Gatsby as well. What would we want as well? And yes, support for PDF printing. So by default, any pages can be printed in PDF or whatever. Oh, hey Rick, thank you. Cost a lot of money to have it. So yeah, I have the setup and everything. So obviously, I hope it will be good enough and nothing will crash. So it's my first live stream. So hopefully YouTube will be a nice place. So it will be more like a CSS presets, which is going to be media prints. And that's pretty much all of the goals that I see at the moment. And what we would want is how to deploy. It's going to be quite simple. It's going to be clone the repo, install now CLI, create an account, create a now account, and just do now prod, and that's the goal in the end. I'm pretty sure the license is from Gatsby. Doesn't matter much, but let's go. All right, okay. So we are good to go. We are going to install everything that we need. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So it's going to take a while. And while this is installing, we're going to clean a little bit of the boilerplate. So browser, we won't need. Server-side rendering, we won't need. In the pages, we won't need page number 2. We won't need any of the components. Maybe we'll be using SEO at some point. So I'll just keep it there, but we won't need this. Even the index, we won't need anything from there. So I'm going to just say hello world. There we go. But we are going to need a data folder. In that data folder, we're going to get our resume.json. So we are going to be using something that looks like a GraphQL response, typical response. So in case this project actually works well, we could be building a GraphQL API and make sure that people could fetch information from that API and build their own static CV or resume, most likely. So it's going to be fetch resume, and this is going to be an array. Okay. What are we going to need as well? We're going to need a new folder. It's going to be called templates. And this is going to be page.js. This is going to be our template for all of our dynamic pages that we're going to create on build time from Gatsby. React. And we are going to export default. and we'll see what kind of props we can get and use in that template. And this is hello from the template. All right. Okay, still building. What can we do? What can we do more than that here? Oh, we could do all of that. So let's go for my resume description. It's gonna be a dynamic resume built from a JSON file, and the author is going to be myself. Yes. So we are going to add the Gatsby SAS at some point to make sure we can actually build nice looking CSS and everything. Not sure yet if we're going to use style component, CSS modules, or just plain old CSS, because most likely we are going to be dealing with like maybe 10 classes or something. So I'm not sure if we need like something extra overkill. Okay, still building. So Gatsby is taking quite a lot of time to be built because there are like a lot of packages. I think it's about like 2,000 packages, like in dependencies and everything. But it doesn't really matter. So let me see how many. Yeah, so 2,000 packages. It doesn't really matter because you're going to build the pages and serve those static pages. So it may take more time on the build time, but when it actually matters for the client, there will be no problem there. All right, so we are going to start the now development server, and there we go. And we'll see if it is having still problem with the Windows subsystem Linux. So we'll see if the ports are kind of messed up or funky or whatever. All right. All right, let's go build. All right. Wait until the bundle is finished. All right, so we have a problem first, because of course this doesn't exist anymore. All right. There we go. All right. So we are in that index.js page that we actually are not going to be using because we're going to create all of the pages dynamically. And we will be using an URL structure, which is going to be your website / language / the page you're requesting. But if you land in the index itself, well, you'll be redirected to default language, default pages. So all of that is going to be made within the Gatsby-node.js, and that's where you are going to create all of the pages on build time. So we are going to do just that. So we are going to require thing from the file system. So we need path. We are going to need our JSON. So we are requiring, so it's going to be in source data resume.json. So this is going to be converted to a JavaScript object. And now you need to export a new method is going to be create pages, which is going to be async because it may take some time. And obviously, if you use Axios or if you're querying APIs or whatever, you're going to await a lot of things. And we want the actions here, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been quite a while since I've used Gatsby for creating new pages, so I might do some mistakes here and there. But I think you need create page from actions, and we are going to need the template page from path.result source templates. So we're using runtime presenter just for CV. All right, so you could be using JKL or any other framework or static site generator. The goal here is to be so it's quite overkill to be using the whole Gatsby and everything, but the goal is to be able in the long term to be pushing this to many different, I would say. So I would be building maybe like a GraphQL API or whatever, and people could deploy their own website to their own domains or whatever, just querying that GraphQL API. So you wouldn't have to be wandering into like the Markdown or whatever, or JSON or whatever, and just like get an actual front end where you can say, oh, I want this. It just like gives you a string that you put into your config files and just run it. And this would build and deploy your whole CV. And you still get all of the goodness of being able to modify all of the source and all of the thing in React, which is fairly easy to understand and yeah. So for myself, it's straight up overkill because I could be building it straight up in HTML or just CSS. But I'm thinking this project might be useful for people that have no idea how website works, how HTML works, or even Markdown. Like I've been working with scholars, and some people just even professors don't have a computer. They just say, please make it happen, and they don't want to care. But so the goal is to be able to be super flexible, and it's and yeah, so yeah, we'll be like more flexible this way in the longer term. For sure, if you want to be building your resume and stuff, you can just do it in HTML, and you don't even need like JKL or whatever. But yeah, and also the goal is to be doing like a walkthrough on how you could be building something else than a resume using those kind of tools, because you may want to be like I don't know, doing like a side project or whatever, and what you can understand on a resume, which is fairly straightforward, might be useful for different things. So let's go back. So we are going to be getting our template, and let's go creating pages. So we are going to creating the /page with default lang page section. All right. So our data that's here is going to look like an array of resume information. So it's going to be, for instance, lang. So the first one is going to be English. We will want to get different pages. We will want to get metadata. For instance, name is going to be, for instance, sure. So that would be the English one. And in pages, we will want to get, okay, I'll be doing like better indentation. Let's go. All right, so my first page is going to be resume, I guess, resume. And there is going to get some data. Okay. And my second page is going to be portfolio, for instance. And there is also going to get some data that we're going to be dealing with later. Okay. And I will be, just for the sake of doing the navigation first, I'm going to be building it in French as well. So resume in French doesn't exist, would be more like a CV. Portfolio is good. Still my name. All right. So we are going to create our index. I'm never sure if it is async or not, but it just doesn't really matter. Okay, so we are going to create a page and we need to provide some information there. The first information is the path. So here it's very simple. It's going to be the root. We need to provide a component, which is going to be our template page. And we want to pass a context. So that context, we'll just see how it works later on. All right, so I get my context and we will be building this. So we don't need our indexed anymore. Yes, and I am pretty sure we need to relaunch the server as we're building new pages. Maybe there's like a function or something, but it's not working on Windows anyway. All right. So meanwhile, we are going to be adding new things here. All right. So we are going to get pre. So you can see here on the left side, it's now serving from the template page that I'm building. And we'll see how interesting it is just now. Props. All right. Okay. So that's all of the props you get from building something in the Gatsby-node. And what's interesting for us is the page context that you cannot see. Just let me remove myself. Yes. So what's interesting for us is this in part of this information. And you can see here we get our foobar that we have in context here. So basically what we're going to do is when we are building the pages, we are going to pass a lot of different contexts to be able to build our pages very easily and make it sure it's like very simple. All right, let me get back. All right. So in our template page, we don't really want props. What we want page context. and we are going to stringify the page context. All right, there we go. So we are going to need a bunch of different information in that page context. So we are going to need the active lang. We are going to need metadata that's related to that lang. We are going to need the active page. We are going to need a canonical URL. So for instance here, my slash root of my domain is going to be the canonical of that page will be /en/resume at the moment. So we make sure we can push that for all of the SEO optimization and everything. And we will need the data of the page itself. So here we go. Let's go here. So we are going to do here as well. Data is going to be equal to JSON data dot fetch resumes. All right, so in the first page, this one is going to be data 0.lang, data 0.metadata. So I'm going to do lots of mistakes between metadata, metadate, or whatever. It just seems to be not working for me. And this one is going to be data 0 pages 0 name. The canonical address is going to be slash this one, and we want it to lowercase slash this one to lowercase, and the data itself is going to be pages data, and we really don't need foobar. Okay, so we'll check later on if we have everything that we need, but for the time being it is going to be just that. And of course, if we want to be taken into effect, we need to relaunch the server, or at least relaunch the build process. All right, so we want now to be building, creating the /lang pages. All right, so this is going to be data for, and you can see here on the left side, we get all the information that we generated, that we put into that context. So let me make sure, dummy check, we get the lang, we get the meta, we get the canonical, we get the page, and we get data which is empty. Okay, so I didn't make any mistake. Okay, so for each of data, this is going to be resume, let's say. So this one will be in one language, specific language, let's say. We want to be building the /lang. So we are going to actually copy paste just that, except we don't want the first one, not the default, but we want resume itself. resume lang, and this is also going to be resume page, resume. All right, so this should be, in my case, be creating /en and /fr. So that's good. And now for each of those lang, we want to create all of the pages. Now create /lang/page pages. Sure. Pages. All right. So yet again, we are going to be resume.pages for each, and we'll call it a page. Do something. So a page is a section of the resume. All right, and we're going to create some pages here as well. And of course, you need to update the path as well, which I didn't. So this is not going to be this anymore. This is going to be resume.lang. Yes. Here we go. So this is going to be still resume.lang, but we're going to also get page dot name, if I am not mistaken. Page name. Yes. All right. Still the same component. Resume metadata page is going to be just straight up page. This is going to be here, resume pages, page data. All right, so now that we have all of our pages, we are going to relaunch this guy. And we are also going to commit those files. When you load the boilerplate from now, when you load the Gatsby boilerplate, you already have all the git ignore and everything, so you don't have to worry about this too much. So it's going to be generating pages dynamically. I have no idea how to write this in English. That's just fine. All right. So if you want to follow the code or anything, you can pull from GitHub or whatever. So let me check if this is working. Okay. We have an error. Await is only for asynchronous function. So of course, when you are doing for each with await inside, async, it seems like I'm always getting caught by this one. There you go. Rebuilding. And I shall be. That's why you should not be pushing too fast. In page creations. All right. So there we go. It's all good. So we have our slash which works. We should get our /en, which also works and pretty much does the same thing. So let's go portfolio. Why are you not working? Portfolio, did I miss something? Portfolio, no, should be working. Warning, warning, warning. No, let me check if FR is not working either. CV not working either. All right, let me check if this is a case of Windows ports. Yes, it is. All right, so we're just getting rid of the 3000 port, and we're gonna get the one that we get from GraphQL here, because we are not going to be needing to reload anymore. Shouldn't. Portfolio, let me check. Why are you not working here? Okay. Resume. Okay, looks like those pages are not working. So for each page, path, of course, to lowercase everything, because we want our names to be lowercase. All right, and there we go. Let's go build everything back, and we should be back on the 3000. All right. So what we are going to do now, while this is compiling, is we are going to be building our header. So we'll be doing like a small navigation, nothing crazy. Export default. We will need props here. And this is going to return header with navigation, which will be all of the pages, and we'll get a second navigation, which will get all of the languages. All right, so let me see. Are you good now? Oh, sure. I have to fix this. Okay. Portfolio. There we go. We get our canonical and everything is good. So that's all that we need in the generating pages thing. We are going to require the JSON here as well. And we are going to be data is going to be equal to JSON data fetch resumes. So data for each data, actually it's going to be this one. For each data, which is going to be a language, we are going to return a link that we haven't imported yet. So pretty sure it's a thing from Gatsby. And this is going to be l.lang to lang to lowercase. There we go. And we'll just not put this one yet. So now we need to import header from component header. There we go. Going to get this, and just because I will need the active language, to make sure we are displaying pages from the active language only, I'm going to be passing we are going to be passing the page context dot lang to our header. Can't resolve source original, of course, because it's not at the right place. Data is just there. Okay. And there we go. So we get our navigation. We can go French or English. Now we will need to get our active language. It's going to be data find. So it's going to be L as well. Well, L.lang triple equal data, no, sorry, props.lang. All right, so that would be French at the moment, and this would be English if we go here. That's this right here. And we want for active lang pages, we want to map a page with a link, and this is going to be page.name to, all right, so slash, so this is going to be active lang, and there we are, p name and everything to lowercase. All right, so I can go from my resume to my portfolio to English, and there we go, all is good. We get our navigation. It's super ugly, but at the moment we don't really care. So we are going to add some keys to make React be happy. So this one is going to be page nav to pname. Obviously we're hoping that names will be unique. We can do checks and stuff, but yeah, it's quite boring, so we'll focus on building something. And here is going to be lang nav to l.lang, and there we go, should be happy. And here we go. Define never used. Let's go removing those warnings. All right, so now that we have this, we will want to build a few things. So the header is going to be better made. We'll do like CSS and everything, and we'll also inside the header we will be doing all of the SEO stuff, so make sure you're discoverable on Google or any other search engine. But I am going to actually display here meta.js, import React from React, export default. Here we'll get lots of props, and we'll return at the moment. We'll return just props. So it's going to be JSON string define props null one. Let's go. All right, and here we are going to import meta from component meta. All right, and we want to be passing metadata, which are going to be conveniently provided by the page context. Metadata, there we go. Okay, so we will be, let's go, building like a small metadata thing. So your name, location, how to contact, and yeah, pretty much that. So you will want to publish everything here, metadata. So I want the name. I will want location. So I'm in Gatineau, Quebec, CA, Canada. I will want my contact information. Yes, let's go. So it's not yet done, but it's going to be arthur.com. Still waiting on DNS propagation and whatever. I will want a summary, and this will actually be eventually multi-line. So let's go with full stack developer, and let's go with this and be like let's be like founder of make it happen dev, former head developer for the Canadian research chair of so the English title was digital textualities. Former so it would be CDOs, but yeah, sure, let's go CDOs. Launch sleep. All right, let's get going. So this is more like placeholder text. We will need languages. So this would be, for instance, do I want to do objects? Do I want to, yeah, sure, let's go. Name is going to be English, and level, I don't know if it's like the proper thing to say, but let's say fluent. I am name French, and level is native. I am their name, I guess I could add German, and this would be functional. Do I add Iceland? Yeah, sure, I can just order things, so not gonna put those. And I will need links, which are also going to be here, and this is going to be object for those. So this one is going to be text. And URL is going to be I think it's includes, doesn't include the at. All right. What kind of thing I would want? Maybe the GitHub text, so that would be GitHub, and URL is going to be, so https://github.com and all right. So pretty sure that should be it for metadata. I'm going to copy paste this in my French one. Don't need to forget. All right. So developer, full stack, de ancien DE principal de la chaire de recherche du Canada sur les écritures numériques, ancien chef de la technologie, CEO de Launchly. All right. Anglais. Being fluent, c'est pas bilingue. Expert. Natif. Fonctionnel. Allemand. Français. Ok, ça change pas. It doesn't change. All right. So let's rebuild this. So we are going to get all the information that we need from the metadata, and we are going to be building it. So there are many ways we can do all of that. One of them is to get everything flat, and so we get like the headers, then we get the metadata. We'll try to keep the HTML structure as simple as possible, and then we'll use CSS to place everything that we need. The reason for that is we most likely are going to use CSS grid, so depending on how wide the display is, or if you are printing or whatever, we'll be placing blocks at some different places. So here we are going to be having a section with the end of a section. And here the port changed. There we go. So we have a lot of information that changed whether I'm French or English. So we will need h1, which is going to be it's going to be props.meta.name. After that, we are going to get regular paragraph with props.meta location. Yes. There another one with contact. All right. I want my summary. So the summary is going to be multi-lined. The best way that I can see, so you could be using like set dangerously HTML in React or anything, but we will be using something a little bit different. So this is going to be, for instance, props meta.summary map split, sorry. So we are going to be splitting on /n, and then we map those to S and E, and we are going to return a paragraph for each of those with S here, and here we'll get a key summary E. All right, so that should be good. Summary not defined. Summary. There we go. I want to get in a paragraph still. We'll be changing all of those tags later on. But I want to get all of my, I don't know what's going on with this one. Props.meta.languages li. We will get here not a paragraph but a span with l.name and within parenthesis l.level, and here again I'm going to add a key, which is not super great, but yeah, language. Oh yeah, sure, we can use something that's a bit better than I. It's going to be l.name. All right. And so we don't need I here. There we go. And we are going to be do I want to do okay, I'll be doing it in CSS later on. Okay, and now I want to get my links. So for the links, I don't know what it doesn't want here. This is going to be a UL and props meta links gonna map things. So this one is going to be a link, and for each link we are going to be doing external references. So we are not going to be using links from Gatsby. We are going to be using straight up a href l.url. We want a target blank, and we want the no opener, and no referrer. There we go, and there we want l.text. There we go. Here, and GitHub, of course, everything is here because I just forgot to li get those. There we go. Full happy. This is going great. We don't need that anymore. Now what we're going to need is we are going to build the actual information. So information of the pages themselves. So we are going to create a new component, which is going to be section.js. All right. There again, we're gonna import React from React. Export default. We're gonna get some props. And we are going to return a section. And into that section, we'll get all of the actual information. So in my case, I will need to add few sections. So on the resume part, I will want so every object into that data is going to be a section of the page. So I will want a title, which is going to be skill sets, for instance. Then I will want a title, which is going to be education, maybe experience before. Yeah, experience before. Experience without the Frenchification, experience. Then you will need to get education. Looks about right. So in skill set itself, you will want data once again, and you'll want an array of cards, let's say. So for experiences, for instance, you will have one card for each experience, and we'll see how to deal with this later. Of course, need to comma this. All right, let's go. So this one is going to be a type of skill set. And this is going to be having a title, which is going to be front end, for instance. And we can call them anything we want, because for each type we're going to have like a different treatment. So it's going to be subskills. There we go. And for instance, I will get HTML5, CSS. Where do we want to start? 3, 4. JavaScript, specifically okay, let's go ES5 for start, ES6, ES7, doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm going to change this anyway afterwards, so React, and then I'll say Next.js, Gatsby, vanilla, React, whatever. Okay, let's add another one here. So I would like another skill set, which is going to be of type skill set. Here the title is going to be backend, for instance, and subskills is going to be okay, let's go dedicated virtual servers, dedicated server administration, Linux in general. So I would say I am fairly effective in the MERN stack. Let's go Mongo, Express, React stack. I am fairly used to SQL, NoSQL databases. What can I say? Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP stack, SSL certifications, even though you don't really need much more anymore. And yeah, let's stop with that. So we have 2. Let's stop with that. All right. We want experiences. So for experiences, I will have data. Okay, that's all that we need. We need datas. There we go. Of course, here. And we will need which one was type? This one is going to be an experience. And I'm going to do just one at the moment. So date is going to be 2019. Present title is going to be founder make it happen dev. All right. We want a description. Platform to collect problems, ideas from users, link them in communities, sharing those, and finding solution providers willing to help them make it happen. Okay, that's good. And we want location. So this would be Gatineau, Quebec, Canada. All right, let's put a second one. So type is going to be an experience. Title is going to be head developer at the Canadian Research Chair of Digital Textualities. Okay. Description is going to be development from initial proof of concepts no, development from custom platforms aimed at academics. There we go. We're gonna use here as well a splitter. This includes development in PHP, MySQL, block traits like us, SQLite, HTML5, and Node.js sales, React Redux, and dealing with data files extensively, like XML, JSON, YAML. Okay, let's keep it this way. Location is going to be in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And yeah, pretty much it. So we have two. Now I need education. Let's go for education things. So we need data. We have an array of stuff, which is going to be type education. Okay. Education. Let me think when it was. So date was 2013 to 2014. Yes. And I think this would be a better way to put it. Institution is going to be University of Montreal. Location, this is going to be Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And we want, oh sure, we want, what did I graduate from? So we want a title. This would be art creation and technologies. And I'm pretty sure they would want this capitalized for some reason. And we also want a level. So that would be a postgraduate diploma in English. Yes. Location, we don't really need much more. Then I'll add a second one. Type, it's going to be an education. I want, yes, data, we want a date. Told you I would be doing that error. So when was that? It would be 2 years before. 10. Oh, come on. 13. Title would be network architecture and web development. Yes, that would be from the institution of Université Pierre et Marie Curie, Paris 6. All right. Location is going to be in Paris, France. And I am missing a level, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Level. This would be a master. Location, don't need more. Portfolio, that's gonna be another thing. All right. Stringify props dot and data null one. There we go. I'm missing here. Okay. Rebuilding, passing the new information to the pages. So I want here to import section from component section. And this is going to be a section with data being equal to page context dot data. Pretty sure that's what it is. Yes, it is. All right, we really don't need this anymore. Okay, let me change ports. All right. So in our section, we would like to so section is going to be section called props return, and we are going to return an article with h1 props.title, and then we'll do stuff here, props.data, and it will be JSON stringify props data null1. All right, there we go. So there we go. For props data map, so for each of those data, so education, experience, skill set, we want to so it's going to be a section. We want to return a section with S inside, and we will get him a key, which is going to be section s dot title, and we are going to remove this. Okay, so I get some skill sets with different things of skill sets, education, experience. Okay, so we're pretty much happy with this. Now what we will need is create a new folder, which is going to be called lines. Getting a main. Import React from React. Let's go again. Export default. Props is going to be loaded. Return at the moment is going to be a good old stringified everything. JSON stringify props null.1. All right, and we'll see how it can be very useful for us later on. So this would be, for instance, the component that will dispatch to the proper render depending on the type of that that thing. So we need here into section to import main CV main line, for instance. This would be in lines main, and here it would be just about that. Main 1, 2, 3 props data. There you go. There you go. Okay, mainline is defined and never used. It's because it should be used here. All right. There we go. Main. So in this one, we are going to be building different types of rendering for each card. So the first one will be, for instance, skill sets. There we go. Import React from React. Export default. We're getting props. Here we go. And we are going to return something to the vibe of paragraph. Strong. We would like props dot, I'm not sure if it's title, yes. Props title, then we go props dot sub skills dot join. There we go. All right. Import. Skill sets from skill sets. And there we go. We can test things out. So if props.type is equal to skill sets, return skill sets with all the props. All right. All right, join is not defined. What is going on? There we go. All right, so what is going on here? Without no rel opener, I do. Let me just see. I have a warning here. No opener, no referer. Did I miss one R? All right. There we go. We good. So let me see. Type skill set. Let me just see first. Is it because I am doing something very bad here? This is because props.data map. This one is going to data right, and we don't need this one here. There we go. It's way better. So we would need doesn't really matter because there's not going to be much dynamism, but there you go. This is going to be a section of props title. Okay, so they are all unique. There we go. D is not defined. Sure it is. Okay. All right, so there we go. Hello, hello, props type. Why are you not happy with skill set? Because it's just one skill set. And there we go. Except I forgot to put that in where it needed to be. There we go. So we get our skill sets. Then we would need to get our experiences. And we'll see how we can do something like this. Experiences. JS. Let's just rename all of those to singular. It's gonna be easier. Yes, please. Skill set, skill set, skill set. Couldn't find a renderer type for that card. Okay. Experience, let's go. From React, export default. Getting some props. I'm going to return an article. Here we are going to return something that looks like h1 props.title. This is going to be paragraph, which is going to be props.description, title, description. Okay, so I need the date, and I am seeing that I misnamed few things. Told you I was going to do that same error over and over and over again for some reason. So it was this. Oh, come on. Until 2019. Yes, experience. Okay. So for this one, we are going to use, should we be using Flexbox or, yeah, let's use Flexboxes. So this one is going to be paragraph with, oh, come on, props.date. This is going to be into a div. All right. Div, it's better. And the last one is going to be into a paragraph as well. This is going to be our props dot location. There we go. Right. Let's go to our main reporter. Experience from experience. Else if props.type triple equal experience. So it's not gonna work because it wasn't written this way, but I'm gonna make sure it does work later on. Okay, so let me go back to my resume. This is going to be an experience. This is going to be an experience. And we are going to kill this. Get it back. All right. And actually education is going to be just the same. Let's go. It's going to be an education. So we're going to kill this and rebuild straight away. There's no date data, no date. Okay. Everyone is happy. Okay, so let me see. Okay, here we go. So this one is missing nothing. That's good. All right, we are just missing education now. So experience is going to be very similar to education. So we're just gonna duplicate this one to education. All right, props. Okay, so let me see what we are needing. We need a date, we need a title, we need a level, but this one is going to be maybe in the H1. Props.level. There we go. Institution and location looks about right. So we have our main. There we go. Else if props.type. So you could be doing a case here if you want, but yeah, you get the ID. Return education, which is not yet imported. Right. Education from education. And yes, for sure. Oh, okay. Education, postgraduate, and all is good here. And yeah, all is good. So now that we have all of this, I can remove this. Should be getting away. All right, and now the only thing that we would need is actually to populate the JSON file to get more things, especially into that portfolio thing. So you would want to put all your past project, your current project, if you have hobbies or whatever. You want to populate your other languages as well. So I'm not going to do that on camera because it's obviously quite boring, but you get the idea. You add new data here. So each data is going to be a section. So here I got skill sets that you can see just here. So I get skill sets with data in it, and then I build a card that will display the skill sets the way I want. I'm making sure I import the card into that main component, which is like intermediary component that will just like send the information to the right card builder. And yes, we display. So what we would need is to put a lot of CSS now. And yeah, so I think I will pretty much stop that stream here. I will populate all the information that I need, and maybe I'll be pulling back another stream this afternoon, maybe, to actually show how the CSS can be done. All right, so I hope it would be of any use for you if you want to build your own resume, or if you want to learn a little bit more about Gatsby or React and how you can build website with it. Yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next stream. All right, cheers.